says it won't stop them from keeping the shells stocked.
The yield is completely going to be affected. Piece of green waste that's come in, it smashed one.
Just coming late at Media City, so down the lift, straight down there, round the bend, into the BBC breakfast studio. Got me bags of soil, wet and dry. Looks like something else though, I'll show you in a bit. This makes me laugh. Soil and tray, might need tissues to wipe hands.
Created all kinds of issues for our farmers.
Yes, harvesting winter crops has been especially difficult.
Yeah, from trapped tractors, rotting vegetables, putting extra strain on the whole industry. Here's our reporter Hugh Caswell.
Hammond Produce grows and supplies over 50,000 tonnes of vegetables each year. Of the 2,500 acres they farm in Nottinghamshire, a lot of it currently looks like this.
Even on our sandiest land, in the worst bits of the field, this is what it looks like. This is a result of endless amounts of rain over the last 6 weeks. We're in the very best field of parsnips that we have today, and we're actually harvesting, but all of our other fields of parsnips and various other vegetable crops look like this as a result of the rain. These conditions are taking a thin margin down to nothing, or less than nothing.
For winter crops like these Savoy cabbages, just getting them out of the ground is tough. While we were filming, this tractor got stuck in the mud and had to be towed out. It's all disruptive for workers and harmful for produce.
That's withstood the rain really well. Other heads, other varieties, because it's been so wet for so long, are beginning to rot on the outside leaves. When we harvest those, we're going to need to tear them off or remove them entirely. So for the consumer in the shop, that looks fabulous. What we're going to have to do to something that's damaged is remove all of that outer leaf and end up with something that looks a little bit like an oversized cricket ball, which is significantly less attractive, but at least it's not got any rotting leaf on the outside.
The last few years have seen conditions swing from one extreme to the other. The widespread flooding from storms Babette and Henk was followed by 5 months of drought. And since then, the rain has felt non-stop.
These extremes are getting more extreme and more frequent, aren't they?
Yeah, and more prolonged. I mean, this field was broccoli in the summer. We had 30 degrees and it was like dust. And now we've got cabbages in the field where the harvester is dropping in 30 centimetres in the wheeling, where it should be sitting on the top of the soil. That's because of the waterlogging. But the challenges in agriculture seem to be never ending currently, and weather is one of the most challenging. You know, who on earth would go into business where the factory has no roof?
There is more rain in the forecast, more misery maybe for any who work outdoors. John says it won't stop them from keeping the shelves stocked.
That was Hugh Caswell reporting. Well, joining us on the sofa is farmer Olly Harrison. Hi, Olly.
Morning.
How's it affecting you? You're a cereal farmer, yeah?
Yeah, so combinable crops, so wheat, barley, beans, oilseeds.
Suffering?
Yeah. I'm going to be a bit more optimistic though, because if we get it dry within about 2 weeks' time, we shouldn't be too far off track. But it's been so wet since the beginning of the year, and it's so ironic. I think the last time I was here, you know, I was bringing in soil that looked very much like this, that was just so dry that we couldn't really do anything with it.
So that's what it would normally look like this time of year?
We want it sort of half dry so that it'll take the weight of the machinery, we can put the crops and we can put the seeds in without them rotting. But this is what we're left with at the moment. You know, you kind of got this like squidgy mess.
Ugh.
Yeah, it looks like it's freshly picked from the lamppost this morning, but
Thank
it's not.
you so much for that, Olly. We're very grateful. Yeah. God, I mean, that's totally... I mean, it's like a...
It's like a what, John?
Well, we know what it's like, but it's like a totally different... You wouldn't think it was the same thing.
No, so this is 2 samples of soil. I took out the field last night, 2 inches from each other, and this looked like that. So I let that to dry overnight, and that's what we're left with, and that's what we need. So we need some dry weather, we need some bit of wind, carry the moisture away, and then we can get some spring crops in.
So in practical terms, how difficult is it when it's like that?
Well, it's just impossible. It's just, if you could move on it without getting the machinery stuck or blocked up, because it's just sticky and messy, the seeds wouldn't grow anyway. They'd just swell up and rot because it's so waterlogged and there's no air in there.
Olly, you very kindly did a little film for us as well on the farm, showing us what it's like where it's so wet. Let's have a look.
So this is a field of winter wheat. So this was drilled in September and went into like fantastic conditions. All that dry weather last year really broke the soil structure up, and it's been really free draining. But it's not like that all over the farm. The different soil types and the sort of clayier soils, because it's not stopped raining since January, we must have had, I don't know, 40 days rain already this year, and it's a different story. We've got waterlogging, we're getting plants now starting to die. The yield is completely going to be affected. We've also got other fields that are standing water, like on here, that have still not got a crop in yet, which we'd normally be sowing around this time of year, but we just can't get on. We're going to get stuck with the tractors. The seed's going to rot if we put it in the soil. It's just absolutely sodden. What we really need is 2 weeks dry weather before we can get in the field and then really get going, get as much planted as possible, so we've got some potential for harvest when it arrives in July or August.
Wow, well, that's the reality, Olly, and this is like fundamental stuff, isn't it? So this is now going to affect your whole year.
Yeah, no, definitely. And to be honest, in the northwest, we normally get it wetter than everyone else. I mean, everyone jokes about Manchester being wet, but we've actually fared a little bit better than some of the country. I mean, I think Cornwall, they haven't had a single dry day this year yet. You know, and that's pretty scary thought, to be honest. You know, that it's every single day. But I'm a little bit optimistic that we're in a better place than we were last year, because we had quite a kind autumn. Obviously, last summer was so dry and the ground really shrunk and cracked, and it has took the weather well at first. But if the forecast says what it's going to do, which is rain for the next 2 to 3 weeks, then that's really going to start to affect yield.
I was down in Somerset and Devon at the weekend, and loads of fields there underwater. It's a pretty stark sight. What does all this mean for people watching at home who are thinking about their food bills? Are prices going to go up?
So what you pay for bread has no correlation whatsoever to what the cost of wheat is off farm. It's probably 12 pence of a loaf of bread is the wheat, and what's a loaf of bread? About £1.70 maybe. So even if wheat was to double in price because there was a shortage, it'd put 10 pence on a loaf of bread. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. The money is made by the processors in the shops in the middle. It's not seen at farm level. So I wouldn't think that would be an issue. Some veg, though, you know, it might be late getting potatoes and carrots and things like that. You might see what would you call seasonal veg being a little bit later. That's the main thing at the moment. But, you know, I don't want to be here moaning about the weather, but that's the only time you ever asked me to come in. But, you know, it's a
Bring
little
some
bit
mud in and moan about the weather, yeah.
I think I'd sooner have it too wet than too dry.
Okay.
Yeah, because last year it cost us an absolute fortune because we just had no rain. If one of these wet days we've had in January, I'd have loved to have had that last June or May. But, you know, that's the reality.
And we know life for farmers can be incredibly tough, particularly at the moment. So I'm slightly loath to ask this, but is there anything you can do to adapt to this? What plans are there? Is there anything?
No, I mean, I grow cereals, and that is kind of the worst bit of farming to be in, you know, at the moment. And that is purely because of the weather patterns we've had over the last few years. You know, you can try and be resilient and optimistic, and we've got diversification, but equally we've got some terrible politics at the moment and a real lack of understanding of what farming is and what it produces. And I always say this, you know, we know it costs more to eat out than it does to eat in. And we've had agricultural policies over years that have supported us through these bad years to keep us producing food, because anything we produce in the UK is better for the economy than sending money abroad, buying it in. And obviously it makes us more resilient if there's turbulence in the world.
Olly Harrison, thank you very much indeed for coming in this morning. We're going to let you get back to the farm, get back to work. But thanks for coming in and being dry with us.
Yeah, thanks, Olly, and thanks for the mud. John can keep that, I think.
Yeah.
Every time I go on the telly and complain about the weather, it changes. Look at that, dry. And you've got the screw gun. We're going to go and put some cameras up at Wellbrook, so when Andrew's sheep start lambing, you can keep an eye on him. But I have got some hooks to go with that log cabin, so I might put them up first. So he's just loaded the cherry picker now, and he's just going to strap it on. I love that cherry picker, it's really, really handy. Just wish it did like 40 or 50k, so we didn't have to low load it every time we need to move it somewhere. That would be a bit handier. John's just working through some of that chip that had the odd big lump in it, so he's what we call double chipping it, so it flows a lot better. It does dry a little bit slower though because it sits a bit tighter on the floor, but it doesn't give us any problems in the boiler then. Got these boxer hooks, I think there's 24 in there, so oh yeah, and then them clips for that trailer. I'm going to put these up here so that the top of that can hook in them so they can't be pulled off the wall. But you can't, they don't sit flat because of the wheels, so I'll have to live on the bottom with that, taking most of the weight, but then have the top hooked over is the plan. So there you go, they can't fall off now. I'll even put a hook there as well for that cable reel. I've been meaning to do that for 2 days. Got a Cobra, got a hammer, got the farmer cable clips, and then we've got rolls of wire in the back. Let's go and wire it up. Right there, it might go wrong, or patented cable unwinder of an old piece of gate. It has. Just trying to. No, I'll have to untangle it. It's trying to. Well, just go slowly now. Come on. Come on, it's going. Wait there, no, this one's tangled again. Maybe we should have got the big up ones in the boxes. Wait, I need 2 hands. Threading the cables up here now, so we've just undone the stop boarding. We need to get them up there, so we're going to go up and over. The only thing is, I forgot to bring the cameras, so we can put the cables in but not the cameras. Can you give us some slack?
On it.
Something's stopping it.
Is that nail again?
No, I think so. Has it got slack? Yeah. It's like knotting in that corner somehow. Going?
You're going behind this wooden beam?
Yeah.
There's all slack there.
Not really, let me try and pull some. Got it unjammed, threaded it up. Andrew's left his drill on the floor.
I don't need help pushing that board in.
Alright, and then coming along the top there. Got it to the box, just got to cable tie this last bit up. Quite lucky really, no one was using the barn while we put that cable across. Just got to do the ends on it. Then plug that in and then get it right through them buildings and put the ends on the other bit. Making some progress. We've come down the duct as well back now, and we're going to go all the way along under this eave beam, then in the wall where that wire's disappearing in, through the stable, out the other side, and then along the front. So we've just got a bit of a bird's nest here because we've had to unravel it all. Part of me thinks it might have been easier to dig a cable with up, round, down, up, round, in there, into that, cross that, then out the other side. So I'll drive round. Got the cables up, long, down, under there, down there, through one of the stables, out there, along the gutter line, ready to that corner. But annoyingly, the cameras that we've brought were sort of cheap, generic ones, and they're not working, so we'll have to get the right ones to fit the DVR. So we can't really do any more today now other than order them, but once we get them on that corner we'll have them coming this way covering that area, one this way covering this area, and one at the back covering the back of the yard, and the whole area is then completely covered. Joe and Amanda are getting the straw ready for bringing her sheep in. Just been by the sports Olly's nearby. They only live up the road you see from Wellbrook. See if you can actually do any field work, but the cover crops are definitely keeping the ground a bit solider, but whether we'll make a mess with the sprayer I don't know. See where it's a little bit wet there. We need to kill this ryegrass, you see. Not sure. Do we risk going on it with a sprayer or not? Suppose we can let the tyres right down. Quick chipper teeth change. Andrew's going to torque them up. That's the ones we took out. Had a few knocks. One of them's actually cracked. It's been a bit of stealing, a piece of green waste that's come in that smashed one. I've just come in the office. Looks like T and J are here for a last load of the day. So I was just going to load them. Dad's shutting up that other shed. Ian's gone, Andrew's gone. So I'm going to quickly do the birthday. So Malt Pierce, check him out on YouTube. He drones agriculture. I'm not sure if that's what it's called or that's what his wife's saying, but he does a lot of drone photography on the combine as well, from the combine. Andy Hamilman, 57. His wife was worried that she'd not got to put him on, but she has properly, so there he is. And look at this, Olivia Davidson, 1339. She was born today, so congratulations on happy 5-hour birthday. Yeah, £109,661. There you go, I can hear that truck moving now. So thank you everyone for the donations. There's the truck backing up now, ready to be loaded. Looks like it's a demo or a loan one. Maybe one's in for service because they're normally red cabs. Nights are definitely pulling out. Anyway, thanks to Bury Young Farmers yesterday. They seem to enjoy themselves, and the end shot is them in front of the combine. Well, half of them, 13 of them weren't in the photograph, they were hiding. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for watching today. I'll see you tomorrow.